Good morning, children. Welcome to today's science class. You know that we are learning about the different modes of transfer of heat. Yes, by now you all know that generally in solids, the transfer of heat takes place by the process of convection. Yes, and you also know that in liquids and gases, generally the transfer of heat takes place by the process called convection. We learned convection and also convection. Yes, children. And we also discussed about the sea breeze and the land breeze. Yes, in the previous class we discussed about the sea breeze and land breeze. Yes. Now you can see one picture on the board. See, sun's rays is reaching the earth. Sun's ray. You all know that life is possible on the earth because we are able to get the right amount of sunlight. Yes. So sun's rays is reaching the earth. So you all know that surrounding the earth there is atmosphere. Surrounding the earth, atmosphere is there. And away from that, where the space, we call it as space, there is no air. Yes, even then we are able to get the sunlight. So do you know how? This is by the another mode of transfer of heat called radiation, which we are going to discuss in today's class in detail. See, radiation. Sunlight, one example is, everyday example is sunlight reaching the earth. Why do we call it is another mode? There is no air or no any medium away from the atmosphere. Even then, millions and millions of kilometers, sunlight is able to travel and reach the earth. That is because of the another mode of transfer of heat, that is called the radiation. We will compare with this with our another example so that you will understand more. Now children, we will just to imagine we all are in the picnic and there is a campfire. There is a campfire, and now one of the child among you, she brings one iron rod. Iron rod. This is an iron rod, children. Iron rod, and she is keeping on the flame. You can see that rod and the flame both are in contact with each other. And another child comes and keeps the hand above the flame, not on the flame, above the flame. Now here you can see that, and another child is keeping the hand on the sides of the flame. Sides of the flame. This is side of the flame. This is on the top of the flame. Now, once the iron rod is in contact with the source, this is the source of heat, right? You all know that this is the source of heat, and heat is a form of energy, right? When any object, any solid is acquiring the heat energy, you all know that this rod is made up of molecules, right? It is solid. Iron rod is a solid and it is made up of molecules. And what will happen once it is getting heated up, the molecules will start vibrating. And this molecule, which is closer to the hot end, this is the hot end, no children, hot end to cold end. And from one molecule to another molecule, the heat energy will be transferred and the rod will slowly start acquiring the heat, and that will be felt after some time. It will be felt in the other end also. Completely the rod will become hot if it is kept for longer time. Can you say what mode of transfer of heat we are able to find in this iron rod? Very good. It is by the convection. So convection is the one of the mode of transfer of heat which will take place in the solids. So how the heat is getting transferred here? The molecules will transfer the heat energy without actual displacement. They will not displace from there. The molecule will not, from the cold end, they won't move to the hot end. They won't move hot end to cold end. There will be no actual displacement of the molecules, but the energy will be transferred. That is how the heat energy is getting transferred in the solids. That process is called as the convection. This we all know that. Now we'll come to this child who has kept the hand above the flame. So you all know that he will be feeling warmer or not? Yes. How does he receive? He's not keeping the hand. He will get burnt. No, when he keeps in the flame. So there is no contact between the hand and the flame. Even then he is able to feel the warmness. So what way the heat is getting transferred from the fire, that is the campfire, to his hand? Very good. That is through the, here what is happening actually? It is convection is happening. So what is this convection? What actually happens? It is happening between these two, air is there. Between the hand and the flame, you all know that air is there. And air is made up of, again, by molecules. So what happens when the air particles get heated up? They become warmer and the warm air will rise up. And the cold air from the side will occupy the space. It is not on the flame, it is above the flame. Above the flame, this all happens. So this is, the warm air rises up and the cold air is occupying, and like a current is, convection current is set up. That is why the child keeping on above the flame also will feel, he'll feel the warmness, because he is getting the warm air's warmness on his hand. That method of transfer of heat is called as convection. This can be seen in the liquids also. Here we have taken the example in the air. Now coming to the other children, some of them are sitting closer to the campfire. Will they be able to get the warmness or not? Will they be able to get the warmness? Yes or no? Yes. So how they are able to get? In between air is there, but you all know that warm air is rising up. It is not by convection, and they are not touching the flame. There is no direct contact. Convection means there should be direct contact, right, with the source of the heat. Here there is no direct contact and it is not convection. Then how it is getting transferred? That is called the radiation. That is the radiation. Radiation means any hot body. Here the hot body is the fire. Yes. So any hot body, even a candle if you keep, any hot body will emit or transfer some amount of heat from its body. That is called radiation. For radiation, it does not need any medium. With medium or without medium, radiation is possible. Transfer of heat through radiation is possible with and without medium. That is how the sun's rays, sun to earth, the heat was able to get transferred even though there is no medium. Medium means there is no air or any other medium is there. Even then we are able to get the sun's rays, sun's heat. It is because that mode of transfer of heat is called as radiation. The radiation, it depends upon the material and different other factors. That is what we are going to learn one by one. Before moving on to the next level, so there are three modes of transfer of heat. First one is the conduction. In conduction, it is the process of transfer of heat in which the molecules will transfer the heat energy from the hot end to the cold end, or hotter body to the colder body, or other words you can say from the higher temperature place to the lower temperature place, without the actual displacement. Displacement not moving from their place, just they will vibrate, acquiring the heat energy. The second mode of transfer of heat is convection. Here what happens, this is also a process of transfer of heat. Here the molecules will displace from their place, and all the molecules will, as a current, they will move and they will get the heat energy transferred again from the hot molecules to the cold molecules by the actual displacement of the molecules. Convection takes place as a current, as the movement of it moves. In the previous class we saw how the water molecules are moving up and down. Same happens in the gases also. The third mode of transfer of heat is the radiation. How the heat is getting transferred in radiation. Here the heat is it is a process of transfer of heat in which it does not need any medium and it radiates without depending upon the hot body. The heat energy is getting transferred to the surrounding. For example, when we are outside, when we play outside, even our body will radiate. Any hot body, flame or any hot body will emit some amount of radiation. Even I said about this in the infrared thermometers. Without touching only they are able to find out because of some radiation. That time I used that term. Yes. So now you can connect it. So when any hot body, they will emit a small amount of heat energy, so that to the surrounding, and from the surrounding also we will receive the hotness. That is the first example. When you are playing outside, you are feeling very hot. So what mode of transfer of heat is taking place that time? Is it conduction? Are we in contact with the source of heat? Is it convection? No, it is by the radiation. We receive the sun's heat and we feel warmer when we go out, and that is because of the radiation. Same way, even our body will also give out some amount of heat, radiate, that is called radiating, emitting. So that we will discuss further. So I hope by now you all know the three modes of transfer of heat: conduction, convection and radiation. Yeah, children, so the transfer of heat takes place either by conduction or convection or by radiation. Yes, so what is heat? Heat is a form of, what is the term heat means? Form of energy. How did we start the chapter? We have come to the end of the chapter. Yes, so how we started from the hot to hot bodies and cold bodies. We remember hot and hotness and coldness. And then we learnt about what decides the hotness and coldness. And we learned about the heat energy, and you were also introduced to the term called temperature, and how to measure the temperature, and different units used to measure the temperature, devices, that is the thermometers, clinical and laboratory thermometer, how to handle them, what precautions to be taken while you are reading the temperature using the laboratory thermometer, clinical thermometer were discussed. Yes, and also in that, when we are learning about that, we learned that expansion on heating. Yes, expansion on heating. In various places we connected that principle of expansion of heating. Then we learnt about the laboratory thermometer, and also different other factors regarding how, when the temperature increases, what happens to the body. These all we discussed, and then we came to the transfer of heat, in which conduction, convection, by now I think you all are you know what is meant by conduction and convection. And now the radiation. Radiation is the another mode of transfer of heat which does not require any medium. With medium or without medium, the heat energy will be getting transferred. For example, a room heater is there. In a very cold places, they use room heaters, no? So room heater, when you are keeping the room heater on, after some time, the complete room will become warmer. So that will be there is no conduction, yes, and it is not by the convection, and it is only by the radiation. Through the radiation only, the complete room will get, temperature becomes higher than the outside atmosphere, but you will be able to feel because of how it is getting transferred by the radiation. Another example, something is hot on the stove, and you are bringing it down. So after some time, what happens? It becomes cool. So what happened to that hot? What happened to the heat energy the vessel was having? That is getting transferred. So which mode it is getting transferred? You think and tell me. For example, yeah, hot vessel is here. Hot vessel. It was on the flame. It was on the flame. Something is there. So it is put down from the flame. Now it is not on the flame. So still it will be hot only. After some time, will the heat energy will be there on the vessel only. After some time, you all know that the thing, whatever the material which is kept inside, and also the pot or vessel will become cold. What happened to that heat energy which it was having? That will get radiation, because through radiation that will be given to the surrounding. By the transfer of heat, by the mode of radiation, that will be given to the surrounding. It happens always. All the hot bodies, they will emit. Emit means give out. Emit means give out. Give out heat. Or we can say they radiate heat. Both means the same. All the hot bodies. Now you know that's why I recollected what we learned in the beginning of. Hot body is having high temperature. It has more amount of heat energy. So when the heat energy is there, that is some amount is given to the, transmitted to the surrounding. That is what we call as radiate heat. That is emitting, giving out. So whenever a body, so hot bodies will emit heat by radiation. Here see, it is not by convection, not by conduction. How it is becoming cooler? It is becoming cooler by giving out the heatness to the surrounding. Yes. So whenever heat is given out by radiation, when it falls on the any substance, heat energy, this is heat energy by radiation. Heat energy getting transferred by radiation. Transfer of heat is taking place by radiation, and that is falling on any substance. So what happens? This is a substance. Any substance, it is falling on a substance. So some amount will be absorbed. It will be absorbed by the material. Some will be given out. That is reflecting also. Some will be given out. Reflects means it will be, you all know last year in the light chapter also you might have learnt about reflection. Some will be given out and some will get transmitted. They will get transferred. They will get transferred to the surrounding. Some gets transferred. Transmitted. Transferred, all means the same. So why all the hot bodies will emit some amount of heat energy. So that heat energy can sometimes be absorbed by the material, some amount, and some gets reflected and some gets transmitted. They will transmit means through radiation they will get transmitted. So why this is so important? This is playing a very important role in our everyday life. How we will see now. See children, whenever in the during summer we decide what to wear. Yes, no, we prefer to wear light colored clothes in summer and winter. Summer and winter. Summer we prefer to wear light colored clothes. And winter we prefer to wear dark colored clothes. Now can you relate this with the radiation and can you able to think why we are doing so? Very good. That is because, as I said now, when the hot bodies are emitting radiates. So that radiated heat is absorbed. Depending upon the material, it is absorbed, it is reflected and also transmitted. Light colored clothes, they will not absorb more amount of heat by radiation. And also they reflect so that we will feel cool by wearing the light colored clothes during summer. On the other hand, in the winter we want more warmness because the temperature is very low. The weather is very low. So we feel very cold. So that time we want warmness to our body. So what we prefer dark colored clothes. Why? Because dark colored clothes radiates more. They will absorb the more amount of heat so that it will give you that heatness by radiation what you got through the dark colored clothes. It will be that will give you more warmness. That is why we prefer light colored clothes in the summer and dark colored clothes in the winter. Yes, and like this we can keep on giving many examples from our day-to-day life. I think that you might have, by this time you all might have taken your textbook and started reading the lesson. Other day I told you to draw the diagram of the sea breeze and land breeze. I hope you all have completed that neatly and you have to label the arrows also. Now in your textbook in 43 and 44, simple activities are given to understand the radiation, children. Taking a dark colored bowls of two bowls of same size, and water is also same amount of water is taken into. One is painted black and one is white color, painted with white color. And when we keep the both in the hot sun for the same time and using a thermometer, when you measure the temperature, which might have absorbed more amount of heat by radiation, which might have absorbed less amount of heat by radiation, that is given. This you can, if time permits, you can, by touching also you can feel which is warmer and which is colder. If you don't have a thermometer to measure the temperature, you can try this activity. This activity given in the textbook, page number 43, 44. Even another also given, same way another activity is also given. So that you can try and you can, in an A4 sheet, you can write your observation. This is on radiation. And also, one more, as we discussed about the conductors and insulators, by now you know that air is a poor conductor of heat, right? Air is a poor conductor of heat. And during the winter, blankets we use. And also we prefer wool. You all know in winter we wear woolen clothes also. Why do we prefer woolen clothes? Wool is a poor conductor of heat. Poor conductor of heat. So how it is going to help you? Our body is having some amount of heatness, no children. So that should be maintained. So outside it is already very cold. That is why we want to maintain our body temperature so that that cold will not affect us. So we have to select a clothing which will serve this purpose. That is why we will prefer the woolen clothes. Woolen clothes will keep you warmer. Why? Scientifically, what is the reason? Why do woolen clothes keep you warmer? It is a poor conductor of heat. So from your body, the heatness it won't allow the heatness to go to the surroundings. As I said now, during radiation, I said now all the hot bodies radiates. Radiation. That is what? Hot bodies radiates. Emits. Radiates means they emits. Radiates heat. So here, as it is a poor conductor of heat, it won't allow the body hotness to get because that outside temperature to affect you. It won't allow the outside coolness to get into your body. And another thing, blankets. When you are wearing a one thick blanket and two blankets when you use, in the middle there will be an air layer will be there. So that layer also will be helping you to feel warmer. So this you can as a heading you can write, why do we prefer woolen clothes in winter? Find out as much possible as reasons for this and complete. Connect it with the radiation and also with the air is a poor conductor of heat, and you can collect the information about this and you can write. Yes, children. So radiation is a very interesting topic in our life. All the hot bodies. That is why your parents might be saying when you are working in the system for a long time, also the radiation will be affecting you. All the hot bodies emit a small amount of heat which will be affecting our health. And this radiation is through the form of waves. These all you will be learning when you go to the higher classes. So by now you should know that heat gets transferred by three modes: conduction, convection and radiation. Conduction, molecule to molecule, heat energy is getting transferred without the actual displacement of the molecules from hot end to cold end. See, when you start, you should know to complete it perfectly and everything should be such a way if you understand, anytime it is asked, you will be able to answer. And convection, the molecules will actually displace from their place and the heat will be getting distributed among themselves from the hot end to the cold end or hotter body to the cold end by the actual displacement of the molecules. And radiation, what is radiation? Radiation is the mode of transfer of heat which does not require any medium, and it depends upon the nature of the material and also color of the material, dark colors and the light colors. That is why in the hot places, outer walls will be covered, painted with white color, because white color will not radiate. It will not absorb the heat, and also it reflects the heat energy whichever is falling on it. That is why you can see in very hot places, outside walls will be painted with white color. It is because to avoid the radiation so that they can feel cooler inside the home. So after the watching the video, now the complete topic is over, heat chapter is over. Just I will revise what all, only I'm not going to explain everything, just the terms what all we have come across. Just I will give you a hint so that you are the one going to complete it. After the class is over, you can start a word, web or like this. And you can, what all we learnt in this topic, we compared heat and temperature. Yes, no children, we compared heat and temperature, and we learnt about thermometers, clinical, in detail, clinical and laboratory thermometers we learnt. Then what else we learnt? And also we started with hot bodies and hot body, cold body. From that only we started. From that we compare heat and temperature. Then about the thermometers. Then about the different modes of transfer of heat. That is the conduction, convection, radiation. For everything one activity is being done. It was shown for conduction and radiation, conduction and convection. Radiation, I have asked you to do that activity at home, and you can tablet or you can observation, you can write in the A4 sheet and keep it ready. And read the lesson. In the next class, we will try to answer all the backside, whatever exercise questions are given in that. Read and be ready for the next class, children.